friends, and happy September. This is my September plan with me in my bullet journal, and this month I am using my new Archer in Olive acrylographs to create my spread. They are these really cool little paint pens that are super fine tip. I got the 0.7 millimeter tip, so they're really fine. They're great for lettering and detail work. This is not sponsored. I just love Archer and Olive a lot and need to talk about it. So this month I kind of went for a classic fall theme. I love fall. I'm so excited that we're getting into the cozy seasons. This is when I thrive, when I can put on a giant sweater and my slippers and sit inside with a book or a video game while the leaves change and the snow falls. It's just, I'm gonna thrive this season and I'm very excited. So I decided to do a little bit of just your classic fall leaves theme using the fall kind of jewel-toned colors of acrylographs that I chose. The set that I picked was very apt for fall. And additionally, I did a little illustration on the right-hand side with the month of September with just a little set of antlers with some fall leaves, and that was definitely inspired by the character of Keyleth from Critical Role. I have done a lot of Critical Role stuff in my journal this summer, and it hasn't done particularly well in terms of views, but I love those spreads so much. And so I wanted to incorporate some Critical Role in maybe a more subtle way than my other two Critical Role spreads have been. So you can see here I'm just drawing some little tiny fall leaves on the left-hand page, just kind of scattered as if they're falling down, and then I added leaves in the same colors around the antlers on the right. I really liked how this doodle came out. It's really simple. I was so intimidated by drawing antlers, and I wanted to learn because deer are one of my favorite animals, and I love drawing antlers. I love kind of the little doodle aesthetic of them, and I was so intimidated by trying to learn how to draw them. And you can draw them really simply with just a few well-structured lines, kind of the way the curvy lines point in and around. They kind of remind me a little bit of moose antlers, but moose antlers are more kind of cupped. I remember when I was younger, this is completely off topic, but I remember when I was younger, I used to watch the show Little Bear, and there was an episode where they rode on the moose's antlers, and I've always remembered that, and I always think of that when I think of antlers. I'm just adding a few more little botanicals into the drawing, and then we'll get on to some more of the lettering and the rest of the monthly planning. I hope that everyone is doing well and wearing their masks and being safe and getting used to the way the world is now. It's kind of weird and scary, but we're all in this together and it's gonna be okay. If you're going back to school this month, I hope that it's a smooth transition however you're learning this month. I definitely do not envy anyone who is going back to school, especially high school this month, or starting into university or college. It is a pretty scary time to be heading back to school, and so I am cheering you on and wishing you best of luck on whatever endeavor you're going to be heading into this fall. I think even for people who aren't in school, September is such a good month for change and restarting. I know personally I'm starting a new kind of work thing that I'm really excited about, and it's just a really nice time to evaluate how you want to finish out the year and any changes you want to make sure that you have a good finish to a very strange year that we're definitely going to look back on in the future and as a very strange year. Here I am sticking to the calendar themes that I've been doing since July. This has been working really well for me, and I loved putting together my calendar with the acrylographs because they're pretty easy to write over with the pens that I use. I just use a little simple gel pen. It's the Pentel Hybrid Technica pens. My favorite thickness is the either 04 or the 03 because I like a very thin tipped pen. And they write on top of the acrylographs so well because it's an acrylic paint pen. So it's got a super matte finish and they're really easy to layer over each other and to write on in pen. So they really worked well for a calendar. And I think if you had the thicker acrylograph pens, you could probably color the entire square in. I mean, I could have with the thin ones, but it would have taken a while and it probably would have used up a lot of the paint. And just to note, if you are using a journal and you are thinking about getting the acrylographs because they're all over Instagram and the journaling community and they're beautiful, make sure that the paper in your journal is nice and thick. The Archer and Olive journals work really well with them because they are made by the same company, but I think any bullet journal with relatively thick pages would work well. I don't think something like the, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, Look term, I don't know how well them or the Moleskines would do because their pages are so thin. And that was actually the reason I stopped using the Look term and the Moleskine. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, so feel free to correct me in the comments, just be nice about it. I'm just filling in a few events that I have coming up in September. I had a couple more that I added after filming, and a little to-do list for just kind of running things that I wanted to remember. And now I'm moving on to my more kind of fun spread with my favorites, my goals, and my positivity. So I'm really excited to get into some nice cozy media this fall, finish a couple things that I have started watching or started getting into. I have some Critical Role to catch up on. I'm still watching She-Ra. I'm going to be reading more. I've got the Adventure Zone, the newest Adventure Zone graphic novel, Petals to the Metal, on my nightstand right now that I am going to be reading this fall. I am just very excited to start making this transition into the kind of last few months of the year, eventually kind of switching out, bringing my sweaters back out and putting my shorts away. It's just such a nice period of transition, and I really like that. It just kind of gives this nice structure that I feel like we really need, especially in a year that's where a lot of people have had plans be canceled or have plans changed, and it's just nice to have like a natural transition that's pretty normal. I know for me, we were probably supposed to be taking another road trip out to the East Coast this fall that we can't take because I'm pretty sure we still can't go there. They're not letting people from Ontario in last time I checked. And I was supposed to have gone to the big Comic-Con in Toronto last week or the week before. That didn't happen. Definitely still bummed about it. I know it could not have happened and it would not have been safe to go even if it had happened, but it's still a bummer. And I think dealing with having to cancel plans, even though they are kind of arbitrary in the long run, I think it's an okay thing to be sad about and to like give yourself the appropriate time to kind of mourn this experience. Even though there are more pressing and dramatic issues that are happening in the world, it doesn't mean that the little things changing isn't going to affect you, because it is. It's just, I think it's worth giving yourself a lot of patience and giving yourself a lot of credit when it comes to letting yourself feel what you're feeling. So I just added in a little quote below my positivity tracker from Mary Oliver because I've been super into Mary Oliver's poetry lately. I've never really been a poetry person, but there's a first time for everything. And I think we're actually going to be getting into the flip through really soon. I'm just writing in a few goals I have for the month, and we'll be getting into the final flip through. So thank you so much for watching. I rambled a lot in this video, so I hope that was at least slightly entertaining. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. The link is down below. And to follow me on Instagram, which is also down in the description, I am at ShapingShan, super easy to remember. And as always, keep it magical, and I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.